my name is Courtney Seiberling. I am the author of Yogas, Yamas, and Niyamas, 10 Principles for Peace and Purpose. And what follows is a physical practice of one of these principles. So if you like what you experienced or are interested in learning more about these principles and yoga philosophy, you can buy my book on Amazon. Namaste. So today we're going to be doing a tapas practice. So tapas means fiery, discipline, heat. And this really has to do with sticking with things. So really staying in the practice, really staying when things get challenging. And so we're really going to amp it up today. We're going to get right in it. We're going to get sweaty. We're going to get hot. And I really encourage you to stick with it today. So in those moments when you usually kind of maybe shy away or back off, can you really just stay in the practice? So unless something is feeling painful, can you really just be and commit, knowing that a little discomfort is only going to make you stronger? So let's start standing. So if you have 2 blocks, grab 2 blocks or grab 2 books and start at the top of the mat. Feet come together, palms come to heart center, lifting the heart up into the hands and bowing into our intention today to stick with it, to stay in the practice, to face it when it gets hard, when it challenges us. And unless there's pain, really committing to putting all your energy into staying and engaging in as many of the poses as you can. So let's start by inhaling the arms up to the sky, coming into our Sun A. Exhale, forward fold. So connecting one breath with one motion. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. One breath, one motion. Inhale, sweep it up to the sky. And exhale, bring the hands into heart center. One more series like that. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep it up to the sky. And then draw the hands into heart center, getting right into our chair pose. So sinking into our chair. And then exhale, forward fold. So lots of movement today. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, taking it back to your plank pose. And then hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot lifts. We're stepping right foot through to warrior one. Back foot spins flat, lifting it up. So this is sun B. Exhale, hands come down to plank. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot lifts. Exhale, left foot steps. Warrior one on the left. And then exhale, hands come down. Stepping it back for plank. And then downward facing dog. A couple breaths here. So pressing into the knuckles, heart reaching towards the floor. Hips reaching towards the sky. Heels reaching towards the ground. Look in between your hands, step your feet. We're coming back into a halfway lift to forward fold. Inhale to chair. So this is our flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands come down to plank, to downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot lifts. Exhale, right foot steps. Warrior one on the right. Exhale, hands come down, plank pose to downward dog, to left foot lifts, to left foot steps. Warrior one on the left. Inhale it up, exhale it down. Left foot steps back, and then both heels come down, downward facing dog. Couple nice big breaths here, maybe feeling the heart beating in the chest, the body starting to waken up. On the end of your next exhale, coming through for one more flow, looking in between your hands, stepping your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sinking it down, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hands come down, stepping it back, plank to downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot. Exhale, right foot steps. Sweeping it up, warrior one, pressing into the outer edge of the left foot. Coming through your plank.
to your downward facing dog. Left foot lifts, left foot steps. Inhaling it up, warrior one. And then hands come down, stepping it back for plank to your downward facing dog. So inhale to lift the right foot up to the sky. We're gonna step the right foot through and we're gonna step it into warrior one on the right. So really sinking into the right hip, sinking into the right thigh, lifting the heart, pressing into the outer edge of the back left foot. Couple breaths here, feeling your strength, your power, your ability to stay when something gets a little challenging. And then draw your hands into heart center. We're gonna step it in to our warrior three. So coming into the ball of the back left foot, and then you'll step up onto the right leg. If you are feeling that this is a little too challenging, you can place blocks underneath your hands, or you can have your hands at heart center. The foot is ideally about hip height, but maybe it's a little lower. One more inhale here, and then exhale, stepping it back to warrior one. Coming in for humble warrior. So either clasping the hands or opposite elbows, lifting the heart, and then sinking your heart down to the mat. Your inner arm comes to the inner right thigh. A couple breaths here, really grounding down into those feet. And then inhale to lift it up, warrior one. And then the hands come down to the mat, stepping it back through plank to your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left foot, hugging the left knee in towards the chest, stepping it through, warrior one on the left, back foot spins flat, sinking down into that left thigh, the outer right heel, lifting the heart here, pulling the belly into the spine, and then gazing at one point, deciding that you're gonna come into this with grace, with discipline, with focus. Draw your hands to heart center, and then lift up through the right foot, hip height if possible. Option to put your hands down on blocks if this is too much. Breathing deeply into the shape, committing and staying unless there's pain. Pain is a sign to back out. And then we'll step it back to our warrior one, lifting it up. And then clasping the hands the opposite way. So the other thumb, it'll feel a little awkward, is on top. Lifting the heart, and then exhale, forward fold. Taking your head down towards the mat, arms come up and overhead. Nice deep breaths into this awkward, humble warrior. Next inhale lifts you back through your warrior one. And then stepping through your plank to your downward facing dog. So if you're really tired and you need rest, please take rest. But see if you can stay up. See if maybe you can fuel your pose with a little bit more energy. Let's look in between the hands, step the feet. Inhale to halfway lift. And exhale to forward fold. Just a couple more standing postures, sinking down into the hips, chair pose. We're gonna play with balance here. So we're gonna come into sparrow. So coming to the toes, lift the heels up, and then exhale, lift the toes up and sink the heels down. So a few of these. Inhale, looking forward, looking down, and then exhale, the heels come down, the toes come up. Last one, coming onto the toes, lifting up with the heels. Let's hold for another breath. And then sink the hips down. We're gonna keep lowering, lowering, lowering down until we come to our bottoms. Take the feet up to bow pose. So we're sticking with it. So it's getting challenging. Maybe there's some sweat, some heat. Lifting the heart up into the hands, into the knees, spreading your chest wide. Couple more nice big breaths here. And then just take your toes down, and we're just gonna take little rows. So you should feel really up. So little rows, working the side of your obliques. Maybe imagining that your mat is a boat and you're floating down a river. And then we're gonna come in for boat pose number 2. So lifting the legs. If you're feeling really good and energetic, you can extend the feet really long and wide, or staying in the middle moderated version. One more nice big inhale here. And then exhale, the toes come down. Let's come to lay on the back. So coming down to the back. So we're gonna set it up for some yogi bicycles. So you're gonna wanna stack your knees over your hips and your calves and your feet extend from there. You're gonna wanna cradle your head into your hands, and you really want your hands to fall back into, or your head to fall back into your hands. So you're gonna lift up with your heart. You're not gonna pull up with your neck. You're gonna lift up with your heart. You'll extend your left leg long, and you'll take your left elbow across to your right knee, and then coming back to center. And then extend your right leg, taking your right elbow to your left knee, pulling your belly into your spine. And we'll flow here for about a minute. Sticking with it. You can take rest if you need, but see if you can find out if you can go a little further. A few more yogi bicycles here. Give it everything you have. So we're gonna slow it down pretty soon here, just a couple more kind of more strenuous things. So offering all the energy that you have. And sometimes by offering more energy, we actually find energy and we can really wake ourselves up. Let's take one more each side. If you're resting, maybe you join us for these one more each sides. Beautiful. And then go ahead and let the head fall back. Hug the knees into your chest. But we're not quite done yet. Take the hands underneath your sacrum. So just to have a little bit of support, take your heels up to the sky. We're gonna come in for a few leg lowers, and then I promise we'll slow it down. So go ahead and start to take your feet about 1/3 of the way down and pause. Take it about 2/3 of the way down and pause. Take it about 1 inch off the mat. I have a block there. And then you're gonna pull the belly in towards the spine to lift the legs. So the low back should stay on the mat, 1/3 of the way down. Pause. 2/3 of the way down. Pause. 1 inch off the mat. And then pull the belly down towards the spine, lift the legs up. 2 more, 1/3 of the way down. 2/3 of the way down. Are you breathing? Are you keeping your neck and your shoulders relaxed? 1 inch from the earth. Pull the belly into the spine to lift the legs. Last one. 1/3 of the way down. 2/3 of the way down. 1 inch above the mat. Hover, hover, hover. Pull the belly into the spine to lift the legs. And let's just walk them out. So just taking a couple little walks. Really, really nice, you guys. Hug the knees in towards center. And then place your feet down onto the mat. So one back bend here. So fingertips graze the heels. This should feel really nice after all that belly work. Press down into the heels, lift up with the thighs. This is a great belly stretch. And then either grabbing onto the outsides of the mat, tucking the shoulders, or if you know the variation where you clasp the hands and lift the hips up that way, you can do that. A few more nice big breaths here. And then the hips come down to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Coming in for a spinal twist. So arms come wide like a T. And then the knees fall over to the right. Closing your eyes, maybe gazing across your left fingertips. Or if that's too much, you can stay looking up at the ceiling. Notice your breath. We're starting to slow things down now, so you can really sink into the yin of practice. Knees come back up to center. And then taking your knees over to the left, keeping that right shoulder down if that doesn't happen. You can put a blanket underneath the arm or pad under the left knee. Closing the eyes, maybe gazing over your right fingertips, or if it's too much, stay looking up at the ceiling. Hugging your knees back into center, placing your feet down onto the mat, extending your legs for Shavasana. But before we sink into it, go ahead and place your hands on your heart. Maybe finding some gratitude for your healthy body, for your active heart rate, for your commitment to yourself and your practice. And then letting your hands fall out to Shavasana, final rest. Letting go of any controlled breath work, letting your body really relax and sink into the mat after all that hard work. Giving yourself a few moments of pause. And then finding a little wiggle in your fingers and your toes. Sending your arms up and overhead for a full body stretch. And then rolling yourself over to your right side, cradling your head in your inner right arm. And then pressing yourself up whenever you feel ready, coming to your comfortable seat. Lifting your heart up, shoulders rolling down the back. And maybe just giving yourself a little mental high five for sticking with it, for committing, and noticing that you can. So it's really beautiful when we can show up to our relationships, to something we do regularly with our full self, with our full practice. And drawing your hands to heart center, bowing into that awesomeness that you are. And maybe choosing to really apply this discipline to something that you do regularly. So something that you're interested in, maybe a hobby, maybe you're trying to make a short film, maybe you're trying to get a title promotion at work, but maybe really committing to where you are, showing up every day with all you have and all you are and all you will become. The light in me acknowledges the light in you. Namaste.